If you are on PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X or S, you can now pre-download the upcoming Grand Theft Auto Online Kortz Heist DLC, just ahead of its release around 48 hours from now on Tuesday, July 14th. Now, this isn't new. Rockstar Games have done this with previous Grand Theft Auto Online updates, but they have decided to skip some in the past because of leaks, just like the last DLC we got in December, a Safe House in the Hills update. So it's not something they do with every single DLC, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. Now, like I mentioned, it can only be downloaded on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S consoles, and you can't, in case you were wondering, play the new update either. It essentially downloads like 99.9% of the files, essentially saving you time so that you can play it as soon as Rockstar flips the switch and says that things can go live. Now, if you're wondering about the file sizes, on PlayStation 5, it comes in at around 1.9 gigabytes, whereas on the Xbox Series X and S, it's around 5.11 gigabytes. Now, that's a pretty big discrepancy in size, over 3 gigabytes, and a lot of people were wondering, does this mean that this is going to be a much smaller update? Now, typically, the file sizes on the Xbox side of things are a little bit bigger than on the PlayStation side of things. This is no surprise, but what is a surprise is just how small the file size is on the PlayStation 5. Because if we go back and compare the sizes to some of the recent updates, it's the smallest one. So the Money Fronts update, and these are the sizes on PlayStation 5, was 3.023 gigabytes. So again, this new update, Kortz Heist, significantly smaller than that. Agents of Sabotage was 6.09 gigabytes, significantly larger. Even a small DLC like Bottom Dollar Bounties was even bigger than that, 2.589 gigabytes, and San Andreas Mercenaries, 5.572 gigabytes. So this is a little bit concerning because even Bottom Dollar Bounties was on the smaller side of the assets that Rockstar had to introduce in the game. So maybe because Rockstar is worried about leaks with the PlayStation 5 version, this preload might be missing files deliberately. That's the only thing I can think of for why this update would be so small, because even if there's not that many vehicles, which it doesn't assume like there won't be, in fact, it was one of the things that Rockstar teased on the newswire that they put out so far, that there's going to be a lot of supercars in this update. There's still going to be new audio, there's going to be new assets such as art, etc. Because the size between the Xbox and PlayStation version is the biggest it's ever been. So PlayStation's data could be missing a little bit here, and Rockstar could be doing that intentionally to avoid leaks. And that is the reason why this preload is only happening on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S. It's not happening on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, even though the update comes out on those consoles. It's because those systems can be easily jailbroken, and if Rockstar were to preload the data on there, the entire update could get leaked, which is what has happened in the past. Now, like I mentioned earlier, this isn't the first time that Rockstar Games has done a preload. The first time it happened was actually in the summer of 2023 with the San Andreas Mercenaries update. It continued with the Chop Shop update that December, Bottom Dollar Bounties in June last year, and Agents of Sabotage in December 2024. Again, the only one that was skipped was the Safe House in the Hills update, but I'm assuming this time around Rockstar might have figured something out, which is why the preloads have returned. And all 4 of those patches were able to be downloaded around 48 hours early, which is what's happening right now. Now, what's interesting is this is only the second time that Rockstar Games have allowed the pre-download of an update ahead of release on Xbox. Microsoft only recently began testing this feature over a year ago, so it is nice to see Rockstar continue to use this option for Series X and S players. Now, another question you guys probably have is, when is this update going to be releasing? And I'll actually put this on the screen for you guys right now. This is typically and traditionally when Rockstar's updates have come out. So you can see for us here in the United States, it's around 2 a.m. Pacific time or 5 a.m. Eastern time. If you live in the UK or in Europe, it's going to be around 10 a.m. GMT or around 11 a.m. And if you're in other parts of the world, it's going to be in the afternoon or in the evening. Again, Australia around 9 p.m., New Zealand 11 p.m. That is, again, typically when Rockstar have put these updates out. It's been a long time since they've deviated from this release time, so I would suspect that it's going to probably be at this exact time when it comes out. So unfortunately for you guys on PC, Xbox One, or PS4, you'll unfortunately have to wait until the official release of the DLC to start downloading it. Again, PC players will get the update across Steam, the Epic Games Store, and the Rockstar Games launcher. Now, typically how it's gone in the past, which systems end up getting it first? Usually it's the Rockstar Games launcher on PC, because of course that comes from Rockstar themselves. They don't have to go through a third party. Then Xbox is typically pretty quick, and then the PlayStation systems, again, obviously being able to pre-download everything will certainly help and speed up that process. I would recommend you do that if you are on PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X or S. If you're on PC, Xbox One, or PlayStation 4, just make sure that you either A, have auto downloads turned on, or B, when the update time comes out, even if you can't play it immediately, jump on, get the download started. Again, all depending on your internet speed. It could take anywhere from a couple of minutes to a couple of hours, so getting that jump started is pretty important. I also don't know if we're going to be getting more information from Rockstar, like an additional newswire with extra details on the update, or if we'll receive a trailer for the DLC. It might be a case where we get the trailer for the update on the same day it comes out. I know that's disappointing because fans like to get hyped and see sort of the heist in action before case. I think it's unlikely anything will happen today on Sunday. There's a possibility something happens on Monday, but if not, it looks like Rockstar will just probably release everything on Tuesday, a newswire announcing the updates out, some of the details about the update. Now, last but not least, I was going through some of the comments, and many of you pointed out in my last video talking about some of the hidden details, Easter eggs, and secret features and whatnot. In this picture right here depicting the deal ending from Grand Theft Auto 4 with Roman Bellic ending up getting killed, surrounded by Nico Bellic and his friends. If we bump up the brightness just a little bit, and you don't even have to do that necessarily, but if you bump it up ever so slightly, you can see in the background, those are bowling pins. That is absolutely hilarious. Rockstar, again, continuing to make fun of themselves and continuing to make fun of Roman Bellic for his constant request to ask his cousin if he wants to go bowling. But anyways, that is all the information that I've got for you guys in this video today. Hopefully you did enjoy. Let me know what you think about everything we discussed in those comments down below. I'd love to hear from you guys down there. If you guys did go on to enjoy this video though, a like rating would of course be awesome. And be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new or you want to stay up to date on all the GTA videos that I'll be doing here on my channel. And be sure to ring that notification bell as well. Sometimes YouTube just doesn't work, and if you ring that bell, you'll always be guaranteed to be notified when new videos arrive. But of course, as always, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.